Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside My Head Between Lectures podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about something very special to me. And before anything, this is not another sad episode. We're not talking about loss or pain or anything heavy today. We are here focusing on the beauty of human relationships, the soft, magical parts of it. This is something I genuinely thought happened only in the movies, where two random people meet by accident, their energies match, and suddenly they become such important parts of each other's lives. I always believed that it was some kind of cinematic magic until it happened to me, until I met people in my own life so randomly at a time I didn't even know I needed someone. And that is when it struck me. Maybe this is fate. Maybe this is the universe doing its quiet work in the background. Because yes, I've had people leave my life, but today isn't about them. Today is about the genuine few who walked in unexpectedly and changed everything without even trying. At first, all of this does seem like nothing. Just a normal interaction, a casual conversation, a stranger. But you have no idea how much of a difference they're going to make. And this is not me implying that every person you meet is going to be your person. Some of them are here just to teach us a lesson, just here for a season. I'm talking about a few who come in and heal you in ways you didn't even know you needed. With these people, there is no stress, no pressure to behave a certain way because you meet them accidentally. You meet them when you're simply being yourself. There's no performance, no history, no expectation, and somehow that makes the bond feel even more pure. And before I go further, this is not me in any way saying that your school or college friendships are any less important. In fact, some of the most important people in my life are still people I've met in school. They've seen every version of me, the awkward, confused, loud, quiet faces, everything. It's like they knew me even before I knew myself properly. And that kind of familiarity has its own comfort. But I think what I'm really trying to say is that every friendship has its own timing. There are even people who you knew in school, people you sat next to, borrowed things from, but you never actually spoke deeply to. And then years later, you guys reconnect and you realize maybe I needed this person now. It's funny how life works like that. Sometimes the right people were always around you. They just step into your life at the right moment. Not every school friend becomes lifelong, but sometimes someone you barely noticed back then becomes your strongest support later. And that doesn't make your earlier friendships any less meaningful. It just shows that timing can change everything. And that is the thing with school and college friendships. They come with a tiny bit of pressure. You don't want to be alone. So you try. You want people to like you. There's a need, even if you don't say it. But with these random people, there's none of that. You don't go into a coffee shop or an event expecting to meet someone who will change your life. You just happen to be there, and so do they. And still, this connection feels like it was written long before you even arrived. Some of the most important people in my life, they came into my life out of nowhere. Almost like my soul knew that it needed that missing piece of the puzzle. And this is where one of my very favorite metaphors come in. Every person we are going to meet in our life is already in our story. Like, imagine taking a portrait picture of yourself with people you're going to meet in your life in the background and they are blurred. They're there, they exist, they're part of the frame, but they're not in focus yet. And then when one day, right when you need them the most, there's some sort of adjustment that takes place and they come into focus. Some of these people have been around you for years, but they only step forward into clarity when the moment is right. And that's what makes these connections feel so magical, because they're not friendships made out of convenience, like the ones formed because you have to work together or study together. These are friendships built purely on energy, two souls just clicking, making sense without any sort of explanation. For a long time, I believed friendships meant spending a lot of time together, being inseparable, constantly talking. I thought of that if you weren't in touch, the bond would fade. But these random friendships taught me otherwise. With the right people, timing matters more than the actual time spent together. You can spend years with someone and still feel unseen, and then one day you meet a stranger, talk to them for a day, and somehow they understand the parts of you kept hidden for years. A connection that feels freeing, very effortless. It could be a conversation with someone next to you at a cafe, someone who replied to your story, someone who smiled to you on a terrible day. These tiny moments can restore your belief in human connection. I still remember back when I was like maybe 12 or 10, I was having a terrible day for no reason, sitting in the car with my family. A stranger walked past, looked at me and smiled. I don't know who they are. I've never seen them again. But I still today remember their face, and it still gives me that warm movie like feeling, like my heart is wrapped in soft light. These are the moments that stay. And that's what these accidental connections feel like. Starting a book with blank pages, growing from scratch, becoming something real without any intention or purpose. There's even research that says that we attract people based on our emotional frequency, that we draw in the ones who match our energy right when we need them the most. So think about someone you met accidentally, someone who made you feel seen or heard during a hard time. It doesn't matter if you're still in touch. Sometimes one conversation is enough to shift something inside you. Tell them what they mean to you if you can. Sometimes people need to hear that even from you. Because some people come without warning and they stay without effort. And that's when you realize you don't always have to go looking for your people. Sometimes your people find you. That is all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, this is me signing off.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.